All right, guys, I'm back. I did just record one, and I'm back again recording another one. I didn't have enough energy in this last one, so I'm gonna try to ramp it up a little bit. So this one, I'm just gonna be talking about how the odds aren't even, and how people are just complacent, and how my views on life, how that all kind of gets tangled into one. Because I think, like I said, everything's connected. So like, if you can start to understand how I talk and how I don't fully connect each dot, but I do. I really do. But you have to kind of fill in the gaps to complete what I'm saying so that you can get the bigger picture. Because I'm talking. So if I go on these rambles, you'll be like, oh, I see how that actually connects. Like, you got to also be thinking while you're watching me as well. Like, you can listen to what I'm saying while also going your own way and then tune back into me, and then we'll be like, oh, I see where he's going with this. And the reason why I say this is just because, last video I was mentioning how like people are so complacent with the system, and we know it's rigged. Like honestly, like a good example is, I don't know if people have been hearing about how the mice, laboratory mice are pretty much come from one lab, right? So like if I have a lab and I order and I want to get some lab mice, they all are already altered. Now get this. So if I want to pass a drug, I would get these lab mice and the drug would get approved because these lab mice are already pretty resistant to it. So they're saying it's safe. Even if the drug isn't safe for humans, it's safe on these mice, so they're taking that as relative. So think about that. They're just able to pass drugs with these already pre-altered mice. And now you're thinking, what the hell does mice have to do with anything? And I'm saying that with political measures, businesses, just everything it's already pre-rigged, and you buy into it. And I think we all know this, but we just have to keep going. Like, capitalism has y'all brains fried, honestly. I struggled, so you should struggle too, head ass. No, you should be like, damn, that was really effing hard, man. Like, I don't know if I want anybody to go through that. If it wasn't rigged, and if it wasn't hard, why do you try so hard to give your kids your house and money? If it was easy, as everybody's saying it is, why would you need to give them that? It's not that hard, right? They wouldn't need such an advantage over others, because if they need that advantage over others, that would mean that it's hard, right? But nobody can just say it's hard. I don't understand that. It really is frustrating. And like, my beliefs on life, like, for me as well, like, I don't know. Like I said in other videos, like I believe it's almost like video game style. Like I said in the last video, like, you can't go to chapter 2 if you didn't complete chapter 1. And now I don't believe in the karmic debt, because that means you're too important, and I don't believe we're that important. Karmic debt is saying like, hey, you and your, and like generational curses. I don't even know if I believe in that. I'm gonna be honest with you, because that means we are way more important than we think we are. And don't get me wrong, I know we're very important, but I'm saying in the grand scheme of it, when we have an afterlife we have to go to and all that, I don't know if we're that important as we would like to believe. Maybe the real ones, and back to my point of like, I don't believe like 95% of the population is real. And I'm not saying that they're not real. I do believe they're real, but I don't know if they're necessarily like human. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that could be going on. We don't know. And like, I'm not saying that we're not important, but it's like, come on, think about this. I just think you have less chances when you come back here. Now, let's say you've been to Earth 100 times. And let's say, it takes about 200 tries to complete the game. Now, every time you come back down, it's like another test. You got to take another test. Like, how many tests do you think you take? Really think about it. If I say 200 years to pass Earth, is that really that long? Like, let's just say in a grand scheme of something. You take... Mind you, this is all off the top of the dome. I'm just talking to myself. Like I said, it'd be really cool one day if, hopefully, I'm on a lot of adventures and I'm doing a lot of cool things, and my kids can have some YouTube videos to learn about me and watch me, evolution through the years. And as long as I'm keep As long as I keep recording and they can see my thought process and how I became who I am, I think that would just be really cool. And I just think in general for people to watch, like maybe when I'm 80 years old and people go, wow, this guy was actually fucking dope. It's like, yeah, man, I'm dead now though. Cool. But anyway, like, how many classes you take a semester? Let's say you take 6 classes. Let's just say hypothetically the normal's 5 classes. You take about 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I'm just being loose. You take 20 tests in that semester. Sometimes you take more. So that's 20 tests in one semester. Then you got another. That's 40. So in 4 years, well, it depends. I don't know. You might take. All right. I'm being a little. What? So that's about 160 tests, maybe close to 180 tests in your 4 years of school. Now, 200 years. Let's say it's a test per year, right? Now, you come back down, and you just have less chances. And I'm explaining that by saying, think about this. When you go to the final exam, they're like, hey, we gave you 4 tests to prepare for this. We gave you a shit ton of homework to prepare for this. We gave you quizzes to prepare. We gave you 10 quizzes to prepare for this, right? What more do I need to give you for you to pass this final and at least not do well on it? Right? Take the same concept and apply that to life. Okay, this is your 100th year. You're not going to have as many chances to pass as you did on your first year. Man, you was getting a little buck wild on year 1, man. You was out here doing a lot. No, we need to simmer that down a little bit. We on year 100. Act like you know something. Like you going in to be a junior now. Like, bro, like I have some common sense now. Like, come on, man. 7-Eleven. You know what I mean? At 3 a.m. again. You know that hot dog isn't good for you. It's like simple shit like that. Like, and what I'm saying is now we don't have as many chances to mess up. Like, I know some people who have had a lot of chances in life and they still have a lot of chances. I know this, my character of who I am. I know this just sounds weird, but I've been blessed with foresight to know if something's good or bad for me, and I won't put myself in certain situations. And honestly, it's because deep down I know I do not have any chances. I don't have enough. I don't know what it is. I reran my childhood through my head and all the chances I've had. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, I got really lucky. And it gets me scared. I'm I don't think I have that many more chances. And something in me is you don't have any more chances, brother. And I'm just I feel like you're right. So I don't take this for granted. I make sure everything I'm doing is right. And I'm not saying I don't plan for the future. None of that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in current situation, because I'm very a present-minded person, so I make decisions based on how I'm feeling in the moment, and I make sure that it's right. Now, that's long-winded. Like I said, just talking to myself, maybe somebody will understand what I'm talking about and I'll relate to them. That's all I'm trying to do, is relate to others through my rambling. But like I said, so we understand the game is rigged. If I gave, people go to people know casinos are rigged and for the house to win, right? But they still go and play. And we're just complacent on that. Okay, they have to win money, right? For some reason, we have that same mindset on politics and stuff. We're oh, it's red versus blue. I mean, I know we got to make the country better as a whole and together, but we should pick a side. Why would you have to pick a side if you know that they're both the same thing? They're both the same side of this, the what does his name say? He said same side, two same bird or whatever, both wings of the same bird. It's the same shit. They work for the same team, whoever gets in office, it works for whoever is above the office. And we'll never know who works for above the office because we're too busy tearing each other down first. We can't even get there before we got to tear each other down first, because we have to, we're so, I know, they always say black people have the slave mindset because we just came out of slavery and we're still competing with each other. But like honestly, everybody has it. Like we want to so prove to like the elite almost. We don't even know who these elite are, but we subconsciously want to prove like, hey, I can survive in this world too. Like I did it. Like look, and then everybody's like, oh, I can do it too. And it's like, well, why are we competing when we just all want us to survive and be together? I don't understand it. And but that's what I was saying, like to the point of we understand that it's rigged. And we're just so complacent in it, and I don't know where this comes from, this complacency. Like, I really think if you're scared, you just have to get out the way, and you shouldn't even voice your opinion on anything. You should just get out the way, move. There's people out here who really want to make change, but I feel like we're not allowed because, like I said, there's not. I have to tell my truth, my struggles. I'm kidding. About like I really don't believe in 95%. Like I said, I'm gonna start getting conspiracy minded. It's not even conspiracy, honestly, at this point. Like people always knew that like I think outside the box. I don't believe in any. I don't believe in anything that has ever. As a kid, I never believed in anything. And I think that's another reason why like I just didn't care about school. Like I would remember reading history books and be like, yo, all this shit sound like bullshit. I'd be like, science, this shit don't make no sense. It don't even add up. Science don't make sense. Science, I still don't believe in science to this day. Like not in like I don't believe in science, but like science is like to disprove God, and then like spirituality like proves God, but like not like proves God, but like proves that like God made like nature, and then like science is like, look, nature is doing all this. This is some weird shit. And it's like, well, yeah, God like kind of made that. They're like, nah, it's all random. Over bazillions of years, this somehow created this perfect layer that if you burned it all down, it would go right back up. Anyway, science is like... But then you notice that like the biggest people that are into science are atheists, which also proves my point that science is trying to prove God isn't real. Like the biggest supporters of science are also atheists. That's not a coincidence. Like people think I just like make up shit. Like no, I have observational skills. It's called deducing. It's called looking at something, deducing, and saying, why do most of the people who like science don't believe in God? It's almost as if they're targeting people to get people who don't believe, who are already kind of on the fence about God, like, and then they get science and they go, science proves God's not real, so I like science. And then you got people like me that look at like science, like, science is just doing nothing, but every time science does something, I go, oh yeah, that's God, yeah, that makes sense. Like God would do that, yeah. But anyway, that was a rant. Sorry, rambling about that. But I just don't believe in like 95%. So like I said, this one crazy thing. I used to say some crazy. I mean, I still kind of do. I kind of toned off. I don't really say anything. Like it might be crazy to you because this is like the first time I'm like actually saying it out loud. But honestly, I'm gonna get crazier. But to me, it's really not crazy. It's just like the truth, and you choose how it hits your eardrums. And like one thing I remember I told some of my friends like forever, like at least a year ago, not forever ago, but like it always feels like forever ago when like you feel like you're right. And like I was always like, man, like there's a lot of countries who just produce businessmen, right? I was like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, where is this money going to? Like our country and Japan, like businessmen, right? And there's a bunch of people who just do sales, right? And like all these stats about like how nobody has jobs and nobody has money, and that people are getting hired and just selling stuff that doesn't need to be sold, and people are buying it. Now I was just thinking to myself, who's buying this stuff? Like, who is buying this stuff? Now, I had trillions of dollars like the elite do. What would I do to keep this system going to where people pay for college? Because think about it, it sound crazy, like, but you gotta think big picture here, fellas. We talking big picture to the moon. Colleges producing businessmen. that money's probably going back to them because we already know college is a scam. But the thing is, then you say college is a scam, but then like the brainwashed people are like, no, college isn't a scam, but then like it is a scam. And then anyway, colleges go to them. We get all these industries that then probably go back to profit these people. Okay, if I can keep capitalism in effect, right? I am giving random ass people a salary, almost like, whoa, I got pop up. Almost like a bot. Like, think about it, like literally bots. Like, like people who are just out here selling, I don't know. They're selling me cups, right? I just had to look at my floor, like, or something like that. There's a couple on the floor. They're selling cups. Who are all these people buying cups? Japan has a whole country full of businessmen. If the whole country is businessmen, who's buying? And China's the number, like really, like, let's use logic here. Let's use logistics here. If we're exporting to China, and China is like one of the major exports, right? So like China doesn't really need anybody because they're like the number one country. They're like taking everything. They took over Africa, right? So like, okay, we took that in mind. They took over Africa. They damn near took over Canada, because I don't know if you guys know, but Canada. Look it up, articles. China was going over there on buses and just buying up houses and land. That's a fact. Over here, we owe them so much money. Okay, so now with all that in mind, Japan has just producing businessmen, and we're producing businessmen. Who the fuck are we selling to? Unless there's literally people out there who just get a salary, who just buy whatever. Let's say they're given $30,000 a year. That's nothing. But all they're supposed to do is just buy stuff. Is that far-fetched? If that keeps these people who have jobs in, it keeps a bunch of the economy going. Keeps the economy going. They have jobs. All these people have jobs. It keeps, schools going, because now, hey, they're getting jobs. They're making money. Now you see it's working. Go to school. Okay? Boom. Now, you're thinking, oh my God, it doesn't make any sense. But it really think about what I'm saying, because I'm about to go into another point of how that makes sense. What's his name? Was it JFK? Was it JFK or like Roosevelt, who literally was just like, yo, we need jobs, so let's just start making roads. Like, let's just make roads. Like, I don't give a fuck where the road goes. It could go off the face of the earth. It's gonna be a road. So get the fucking making it. We could literally drop off. Make the road. That's what I'm saying. Like, just, they're making up stuff at this point to keep it going. I would too. If I have so much money, and the thing is, you're gonna try to, like, I'm not saying you don't have to believe me, but I'm just saying, like, there's people who have enough money to buy countries out of debt. You don't think they have enough money to maybe just make up a couple businesses where people just buy products from people? Come on, man. Use your head. It's not that hard. Not that hard. It really isn't. People think everything's like so like magical and like mysterious and like it's like logical. Nothing is logical. You don't use logic in this type of world. If you want to believe that we're floating in space, hurling at 6,000 miles per hour, we've never gotten hit by an asteroid ever, and there's no space debris ever, and then satellites just were created 20 years ago, but we're still use cell towers. If all that makes sense to you, hats off to you. And I'm proud of you for thinking that way. And I hope one day something bursts your bubble. Alright, guys. That's my videos. These are some long rants, and I don't care if anybody watches them. It's making me feel good that I'm just pumping out content. Just pumping out content for a future me and my future kids and a future audience. And maybe one day I'll be dead and I'll be coming back here again and we'll be watching my videos. I'm a different kid. I'm a different kid. I'm a little Mexican fat kid who loves candy. And I'm watching myself in my history class on YouTube. And I'm saying, this guy's full of shit.